very good evening and welcome back to the IGF Matchside sofa chat here at the Nippon Budokan. It's the seventh and final day of competition as far as the individuals are concerned at these World Championships. I'm sitting alongside Loretta Cusack-Doyle, Dennis van der Geest and Neil Adams, and I'm going to go through and ask a few questions about their thoughts on the day. Loretta Cusack-Doyle, first of all, tell us about the women's heavyweight final.
Well, it was a tough match, there's no doubt about it. Ortiz started off well, but as you could see, as the match progressed, her condition started to really let her down. And between the both of them, there was really very poor attacks, and you couldn't sort of separate them. They were putting the attack, but there was no chance that either one of them were ever going to score. And I know that we're wanting to see a positive finish and with a score in these finals, but there's only so many poor attacks you can put in before you've got to give that third and final Shido for a Hansokumaki, and Ortiz just handed it on a plate when she just walked straight out of the mat area. You had to end up throwing in the towel on that one. Sometimes it was quite hard to watch, I must admit. It wasn't the most exciting, and they struggled. They really did struggle, and I struggled as well because it was difficult to watch.
I'm going to come to Neil Adams when it comes to Harazawa Hisayoshi and Lucas Kapalek, but with regard to the men's heavyweight competition medal matches, I really want to talk about the performance of Roy Meyer, and who better to go to than Dennis van der Geest. Dennis, take it away. Take the mic.
I think Roy Meyer did an excellent job today. Great fight for the bronze also against David Moura was a great fight. And he really worked hard for it. Well-deserved medal. Of course, Tushishvili for the bronze medal contest is a different one than when he's still fighting for a gold medal. You can see, the moment he walked into the venue, you saw that he had like a different view or a different look in his eyes. But then still, he's the reigning world champion, and that's a really good win for Roy Meyer. And Roy Meyer already showed before that he could give Tushishvili a real hard match. I think Tushishvili, a lot of kilos like in the balls, like a really hard fighter, but not so much in the brain. And I want to say this because, and I know for sure the Georgians will think the same, because in the semi-final, the way he made this Oso Dagari against Harasawa, completely not his style of judo. He was winning the match, just like sometimes you also have to be a little bit smart to win a match, but he just wanted to show in Japan, like, I am going to throw Harasawa for the biggest ippon in my life, because this is the way I want to do it. And in the end, he lost. And I think that was really a stupid mistake. And compared to Krpalek, first one who ever won in two categories. Of course, we have Suzuki, who was 100 kilo world champion, and afterwards in the open. But this is the first one in the minus 100 and in the plus 100. First one ever in the judo history. So big champion. But somebody has to go to the Czech Republic and tell Lucas Krpalek that that it's only 4 minutes of fighting, because he thinks that every fight is 10 minutes. Because for him it doesn't matter, After 8 minutes he still looks fresh, he still looks fit, unbelievable, and that's also what he showed in the final. I think. If it was not Harasawa and not in Tokyo, they already gave him maybe earlier third Shido. We don't want a final to end like this, just as you say with the women's final. But if we had to wait for a score in that final, we were sitting here in March 2020 still. So we have to be happy about that. But Lucas Krpalek really won this final just by being really smart and physically so fit that he can also keeps his tactical plan like for ages. Unbelievable.
Thank you very much for that, Dennis van der Geest. Neil Adams, your thoughts on that Harazawa Hisayoshi Lucas Krpalek final?
I thought it was a great final, and I think that the point is about it is that we're always going to have tactical matches, and like Dennis said, you're not always going to get ippons. You can't always come out for ippons. In a competition of this level, you've got to be a little bit cautious sometimes, and I think Kapalik is that, isn't he? He's very cautious. He plays his game. He plays to his advantage. He takes it on the ground when it's there for him. And I think that two totally different fighters with Tushishvili, who threw it away against Hawasawa. I fully agree. He came out here to throw everybody for ippon, show but actually sometimes you've got to close it down and you've got to play the game. And I think that Kapalik, he can carry on. He is great condition. He has great condition and great tactical awareness. And I think that Harasawa, credit to him. I mean, he came out here to fight, and at one stage in the fight, there was Suzuki shouting at him, if you don't attack. And I said to you, didn't I? I said it looked like Suzuki was going to come in and put his leg up the middle there for Uchimata and make him attack, and do it for him. But
there was like in the whole final, there were like 1.5 or 2 minutes that I thought Harasawa is going to win, because then he had a solution with the right hand. He was grabbing Krapalek on the back, and that was the moment, because he was always losing the fight about the grip so he almost never had like his left hand on the sleeve, what he needs for the Uchimata. Then he had the grip, the overhand grip, and I was thinking, okay, maybe now he can turn in. But after one mate, Krapalek always thinks and grabbed the sleeve and brought it down. So still after like minutes of fighting, Krapalek is still thinking, still, and it can change his tactical moves. And so that was really, for me, the most important thing in the final, because that was the moment that maybe Harasawa had a small chance. When the Kumikata was in the favor of Krapalek, it ended.
I think that when it comes to tactical fighters like that, they win matches, and they win important matches. And I think that's like Dennis said, he played the game, he waited, he was attacking just at the right time. Harasawa was attacking just at the right time, just about saving himself. It was always that left to right stance there. It was about that sleeve, wasn't it? That sleeve was the key point. And then Kapalik would go on to another direction. And I think that what went against Harasawa was that he was going the same direction all the time, and failed to go over the other flank or to change the tactics. But I thought it was a great match. And if there's anybody out there who says, oh, well, we don't get as many ippons as we possibly could, and there were a couple of fights there in the World Championships, and I'm thinking of Agbeg Nanu there, and they went way into golden score. Let me tell you, those were the most exciting fights here that had everybody on their seats, and everybody loved them. And anybody who knows anything about judo absolutely loved what happened there. As a commentator, for us, all right, we were a horse, we were just loving it, we were right in there with them, other than jumping on the mat with them, and it was brilliant stuff to watch, and that's what our sport's all about. It's all about the ippons, but it's all about the game of playing the tactical play as well. And we've had everything here in these individual matches, absolutely everything. Nobody could ask for more.
Thanks very much for that, Neil. Now, part of what we try to do with the commentary is obviously to enhance the product and make it saleable and make it attractive for you to watch at home. And as Neil was hinting there are some times when we just can't do that, because that's the nature of the way that the sport goes. And I am reluctant at times to say that was a great contest, or these were a great world championships. However, this time I'm going to tell you, and I don't know how many I've seen, I'm not going to count them up now, but of the world championships I've seen, this is possibly the best world championships I've seen, and I'm going to tell you why. We had quality here. We've got 14 weight categories, and of the 14 weight categories that we've got, we had 13 defending world champions. Only An Chang Rim was missing from the under 73 kilo category. He was the only one who won in Baku who wasn't here to defend his world title. Of the 7 male categories, 6 were here then. All 6 were defeated. Not one of them was able to retain his world title. Sometimes statistics, they begin to tell you things. Of the 7 women's weight categories, all 7 were here. Only 3 were able to retain their titles. It was Biladid in the under 48 kilo category, Abe Uta in the under 52 kilo category, and Clarice Egbegninu in the under 63 kilo category. And when we go through to talk about those 7 days, especially in the early days, early on, every day had a superstar. Opening day, Biladid was a superstar.
Yeah, and I think, and this is the other thing, which is remarkable, truly international sport. Out of the 3 gold medals for France, there were 4 gold medals for Japan in the end, and there were 9 gold medals. 9, if you count Japan and obviously France as well. There were 9 different gold medals. 9 different countries can say that they have a new world champion.
I'm going to come to each of you as I go through these different days, and you can just say, okay, this is a day that I really want to go for because it had something really special. And for me, on the opening day, judo has a few superstars. We know Teddy Riner is a big superstar, but we also know that Biladid globally is like a brand. She was coming in here defending her title. We know that the previous time she was the youngest world champion we've ever had. Must have been a lot of pressure on her. It's like a fairy tale, and there she was winning in Japan, smashing the Japanese again in Japan. That's fairy tale stuff. That really doesn't happen. You stop me when you want to take over and jump in on a particular one. Day 2. The Abe, thing that we had from Baku. Brother and sister, what a story that was. Posters everywhere, and there was Abe Uta retaining the title again, taking it over. But what happened to brother Abe? He went out. Now, there was compensation for the Japanese because they lost. Abe lost, but Maru Yamajoshiro jumped in there and he took it for them. Day 3. The man, really, Ono. Okay, here, Dennis is going to jump in.
But because you were talking about Abe, I think Ono and Abe is close to each other, like reigning a category. Biladid also. I think if you follow her, for example, on Instagram, she is a big star, and you see a lot of things outside judo, like some modeling and the nice. And sometimes when I see that, I hope that they make this picture and then just go straight to training. Well, because sometimes you see that, and somebody gets famous, and it will be more and more difficult to go into this tatami and in these dojos and into the shitty places where you really have to train hard and things like that. I'm sorry for that, but she did. Yeah, she did. No, yeah, she did. Biladid wins, but Abe is also controlling the 52 category just the same as Ono did. And I said about a few categories, and it shows off because we have a lot of reigning world champions who did not defend their title. And for example, in 90 kilos, there can be loads of people who can win the final. But if you wake up Ono if you wake him up at the 1st of January, he will be world champion on the 31 of March. It doesn't matter. And it's unbelievable if the level is that high. And we can say that we've seen this here in the World Championship, that the level also of all the countries is really high. There wasn't a big Japanese sweep, what some people expected. Only 4 gold medals, of course 15 medals in total. They're still reigning, but it's not as big as what some people expected. But with a champ like Ono, well, for me that was the whole day. It was brilliant to watch. If the level is that high and you're standing there, unbelievable.
Okay, anytime I call a name as we go through them and you want to jump in, then do, because Ono was the big star on day 3 for me. However, he surprisingly was forced to share that stage, not because there was another Japanese, well, not really, but Krista Deguchi of Canada came in there, really upset them. And, you know, there are times when, you know, people, for various reasons, have to move either federations or they move a club or they do something. And it was almost like payback, you know. She came here having to do this. She did it in real style.
She did it in style, and she was Canada's first ever world champion. And I think that, she was very confident, very cool. And I think that is a big thing for me. Mariyama was really cool. I loved, the fact the thing is, we didn't give him a special mention, but he came out, and he was going to win the world title. He was really confident against Abe, and he knew he was going to win it, and I think that she was exactly the same, Krista Deguchi. I mean, she came out full of confidence. I don't think she had any doubt she was going to win that.
And the nice thing for Japan was that they could quietly sneak back and say, okay, well, you know, Yoshida Tsukasa, who was the defending world champion, didn't win, but actually, you know, we won.
Yeah, but that's what they also said when Anton Geesink won. They said that's a reincarnation of a Japanese. Yeah.
So kind of, I mean, that was a big reach, wasn't it? You know, they dug that from somewhere.
God, I know that you're going to mention Agbegnanu, you know, because I mean, you know, for me as well, she deserves special mention because she showed for me what an absolutely special champion she is, you know, because not only for world titles, but I think also the fact that she dug deep and she had to really dig deep, you know, and go somewhere she'd never been before. And then, you know, the emotion after it, because that was just beautiful to see. And I think it just kind of epitomizes just everything that our sport is, you know. It is about emotion, sometimes digging in and finding something special, and that's what makes great champions. And for me, that made her a great champion.
Yes, indeed, Neil. On day 4, it was Clarisse Agbegnanu winning her 4th world title. And nice thing is that we gathered here in the morning saying, "Oh, where are the French?" You know, and I think it was Dennis van der Gees who you know, where are the French? You know, and then here they came charging in. You know.
Yeah, I was happy that I listened. Yes. But I still, it's unbelievable, those 3 world champions with the women. Still, let's be honest, in the French judo for men, they really have a problem. Few are a bit older already, and sometimes you just see that judoka, they fight from Olympics till Olympics. So if you have the Olympics, you're not thinking like maybe 1 more year, or if you go for it, then you go for the fully 4 years. Sometimes that's just too long. So you see them like after 2 years, then it's still okay, and then the last year before the Olympics, you can see that they're maybe too old or it's not possible anymore. And let's hope that we will see in the future some good French youngsters again with the men, because well, that's what we've seen for years and years and years.
You mentioned the Dutch charge, yeah?
We're coming to that. Yeah, that's
because that would be a good one.
That's day 5.
But I've just got a feeling that somebody might have something to say about that. But Noel van ter End, we've got to say that. I mean, he just comes from everywhere, doesn't he? Amazing, you know. But I'm sure that we're going to have some really some top draw comments about Noel.
And finally, on Clarisse Agbegnanu, I want to mention something about the final. Some contests that you see at a World Championships, Olympics or Continental Championships stick in your mind as being extra special. For some reason, you are not going to forget that. And years later, someone says, "Oh, do you remember Agbegnanu and Toshiro Miku in the final of the 63? You know, what a match that was."
It's a bit like the Makarov fight.
Yeah, that kind of thing, you know.
That was, everybody remembers.
So I want to ask Loretta if she can just remind us a little bit about that contest.
Well, for me, it was a contest you just wanted it to go on and on. They didn't want it to go on, and there was so much exciting parts of it to look at. And at the end, you could see them embracing each other, and there was tears flowing. But I think the tears were for exhaustion as well as joy. I don't think Agbegnanu, she was celebrating the success, but she was also applauding her opponent for giving her such a match of her life. She made her really work for that gold medal, and it gave us all the delight to watch it. It was for me. It was. I felt that it was one of the matches that we had seen throughout the whole World Championships, and that and Deguchi was another one that I felt was an amazing athlete. For me, you talked right at the beginning about this World Championships. This has been the best World Championships I have ever seen. The most exciting, and the highs and lows that was thrown in there, the sort of shocks that we had of athletes going out in the early stages of competition that you would never have put your money on to say that that would happen. So for me, there was so much there that my head feels like it's fuzzed with so much going on that you're trying to separate the moments and the excitement amongst the whole week that we've had.
Day 5 then saw the charge of the Dutch, as Neil has put it, when Noel van der End in the under 90 kilo category took the first gold medal for the Dutch male. We come back to Mahinder Kerk, it was in 2009, but for the men since Ruben Hokus, I think, in Brazil. 2007 in Brazil. Dennis, tell us a bit about your knowledge of Noel and just how important not only was that for him and how difficult that was for him because of the injuries, and he himself sat here and spoke about the difficulties in his personal life. So that's out. That's out. And how important that was for Dutch judo as well.
Well, for Dutch judo, of course, very important. I think for every country, a world champion is something special. Japan wins a lot of gold medals, of course. Holland, we have a few world champions, and in the male, it's not that much. It's already 12 years ago, and Noel had an absolutely brilliant day. I think the good part of Noel is that he can score from all sides, like left, right. And also in the final made I think a great combination. What you don't see so often with his left Oso Dagari into some sort of Kage Ko Soto. That Noel was good in judo, we already knew for years and years and years. But most of the time he lost with Kumikata, or he lost that he wasn't actually well trained because. Yes, he had some troubles. He was in France for a while, not in Holland for doing all the sessions. He had some mentally problems. And I think it's really good that you're open for things like that. When in my career, I had a psychologist, because I said, okay, if I want to have a good condition, I go and run. If I want a good technique, I go for technique training. If I want to be strong, I go for weight training. But I think, and that is what we've seen every time, the mental thing in judo is so big, because at the World Championships, almost everybody is well trained. Everybody is in good shape. So the mental thing is bigger and bigger. And he really worked hard for it to become stronger in his mind. And, this is the result. And you never know for sure. But one thing for sure, if you don't do it, it won't happen. And he worked really hard for it. And the result is he's our world champion of the Netherlands from this World Championships. And I'm very happy with it.
Freddie's showing us some images from Noel van der End, and he showed some from the final there. I want to go back to that final because I want to pick up on someone who appeared in the final. Of course, Noel van der End won it, but he defeated Mukai Shoichiro of Japan. That was another big match. And it was a really, really top draw performance from someone who in the morning was not fancied. He was one of the lesser Japanese. We weren't looking at him. It isn't a category where they've had, tremendous success outside of that Olympic win from Baker Mashu. They've been struggling to find, people in that weight category on a regular basis. And I think he fought out of his skin because I didn't put him down there as one of the, top fighters. He put a lot of people away attractively throughout the day, quite surprisingly.
I think one of the throws of the tournament was against the Cuban. Took a while, but then with the inside hook, unbelievable big throw. That's, I've seen Okada doing that like ages ago. I think it was a World Championship 1991 or something in Barcelona, just getting in with the Kouchikage. Don't see it that often, but this was like, whoa, man, what a throw. If you did not see it, just check it on the internet because it's worth it.
And the other thing was that he ended. This is the throw that Dennis is talking about. Hey, Freddie's on the ball here, isn't he? What a man! Look at this. Look at that is Ivan Felipe Silva Morales of Cuba, the world silver medalist from Baku, going over like 9 pins at a bowling alley there, wasn't it? Look.
I remember when Okada first did that, it turned into almost uchimata, but back to front, because the leg went so high up, it just absolutely goes up. It is like doing an Osoto or an uchimata, but hooking the inside of the leg. Fantastic technique, but he was good, Mokai, and I thought he fought absolutely out of his skin to get that far, and he fought a good final as well. I thought that Noel van der End, super, because he came from, like Dennis said, so many different angles. It makes judo different. It's not all about doing traditional style.
Mukai beaten in the final by a better Dutchman. Right, okay, we had day 6 then, and I'm not meaning to put down the tremendous performance of the first ever Portuguese to win a gold medal, Jorge Fonseca, but we've only got a certain amount of time, and I know if I hand the microphone to Loretta Cusack-Doyle, we're going to be here all night. So I'm going to go with Madeleine Malonga, and the reason for that is not that her win was so extra special, because we've had a French gold medal winner in that weight category before, in Audrey Chermio in 2011 when she won in front of her home crowd in Paris. I'm going to go there because we had already had Clarissa Begnanou, we had already had Marie-Eve Gahi, and now here comes the third of the trio, Madeleine Malonga. Where was the pressure? This was a big thing, and she goes up against the current world champion at home, Hamada Shori, and takes it from her. For me, this was a special win. The other thing was, it was her second World Championships. That's it. She hadn't built it up or anything. The last time she came out, it was 7th, and you went from 7th to 1st. I think that was a good win. Dennis is chomping at the bit to get to the microphone. It's all yours, pal.
Oh, well, no, I think it was, especially in the final, she really overclassed the Japanese, and with so much strength. And, does it give you wings if everybody in your team win medals? Sometimes it is. Sometimes people have a problem with it, because the pressure gets high and they're like, oh, okay, everybody wins. But for her, it was absolutely not a problem because, she smashed everybody the whole day through. And all 5 Ippons, yeah. So, Hamada... Yeah, she tried to do, but look at this. Yeah, well, this is high quality, And Hamada, she just tried something because she did not know what to do, and eventually this happened because Malonga was so much stronger, so much control of the upper body that it was impossible to break through this. And great win.
Right, we have got we've already done the wrap-up with Kapalek and Sone because they were the 2 big names from today, this 7th and final day of competition here in Tokyo. We're going to be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock Japanese time for the team event.
Give her 5 seconds.
With I think she'll need more than 5 seconds with Fonseca. But go on, I bow to your superior strength and knowledge, Dennis. Tell us about Fonseca.
What a man. The biggest smile in the tournament, and absolutely delighted for him. That's all I can say. I can't believe, though, I missed the interview. I was gutted. I wasn't even here. He was warming up this seat for me and I missed him. But brilliant lad.
I think for sure he will be somewhere, I think in Roppongi or so maybe you can find him.
Right, so we'll be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow with the team event. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast from Tokyo, the 7 days of individual competition. I have yet to be to a team event that has fallen flat. There's always excitement. There's always something really special happening. I want to thank Lance Wicks, who has been there in the background. I also want to thank Freddie, because I can't remember when we've had the kind of help and support and images and everything that we've had. I want to thank also Anthony Corelli, who's been part of our commentary team, Dennis van der Geest, Neil Adams, Loretta Cusat-Doyle and myself. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock for the team event. But from all of the broadcast team here in Tokyo, it's bye-bye for now.